Welcome to the Thriving Soulpreneur podcast. This is a space where we talk about human design, spirituality, and neuroscience, all applied to business and money. My purpose is to help struggling solopreneurs to run sustainable businesses, to become financially resilient, and to create powerful change within their communities and beyond. I am your host, Andrea Niño de Guzman, a numbers girl and neuro geek who left the corporate world to do what she does best, to catalyze transformations. I am thrilled and honored to have you here, and I really hope to serve you in the best way possible. Hello. Welcome back to this new episode of the Thriving Soulpreneur podcast. If you've been following me for the past few days, you know that I've been talking about the journey that a spiritual entrepreneur takes from hiding to thriving. Each episode has been dedicated on a specific stage in this journey. So the first stage has been the hiding solopreneur. The second stage is called the performing solopreneur. The third stage is called the self-aware soulpreneur. The fourth stage is the recalibrated soulpreneur. And the fifth stage, and that's the one that we're going to cover now, is the thriving soulpreneur. So if you haven't done so already, I really recommend that you listen to those episodes first so that you understand the sequence of what I'm about to share. You understand the context of why I created this, this journey, how I started to envision this journey, and why I feel it's important for us to understand it, because as I start identifying where you're at in these different stages, you have clarity on, what the steps that you need to take in your business, and also the steps that you need to take in your own personal development and growth. So now we finally reached the final stage. And honestly, I'm so happy that I divided this topic into 5 smaller topics, because it has really allowed me to go deeper, way deeper than what I originally intended to be. When I thought about this, I thought that this was going to be an hour podcast. In fact, I recorded one podcast, the whole thing in one sitting, but it just didn't feel right. It felt heavy. It felt, I felt that we needed to have, some breaks in between. And I also felt that there was so much to be shared that each level really needed its own episode. And as we know, we're rounding up this series, I'm happy that I took that decision, because, I feel like after you listen to all these episodes, you're able to really understand what that journey is like. I'm confident that you're going to be able to relate to the different phases through, the vast experiences that you've had in your business. And I'm really hoping that, the stuff that I share is of benefit for you. It can help you move forward, and that it also opens up the conversation between you and me, so that, if you need help, that I can help you, that I am here. And it invites a conversation for me to opens a conversation for me to share a little bit more about the memberships and the programs, the one-on-one programs that I am currently offering. But the deeper purpose of this is not just about me selling or promoting or sharing about what I do. It really is about helping you see your journey in a different light, maybe a more empowering light, helping you see what the next steps could be, and giving you clarity on where do you need to focus your efforts, your resources, your attention on, depending on where, the stage that you're at. So that's in essence what I'm hoping to achieve with all this. And obviously, any questions that you have, any comments, helps me fine tune this, because this isn't something that I read in a book. This isn't something that I'm copying from somebody else. This is something that I've been creating for the past year. Like, I've been I've been working on identifying these phases, on really identifying what it looks like in this phase. So this is something that has been created with a lot of love. And I feel that it's going to be one of the pillars, in addition to the recalibration formula, in addition to a bunch of other tools that I'm creating. It's going to be one of the pillars of my recalibration philosophy, which is all that I'm about. I really want to help people recalibrate their minds, recalibrate their business, so that they can start doing business in a different way, so that they can start doing business in a way that resonates, that feels connected to who they are authentically, and so that I can help people create change, so that I can help people move away and really break those patterns of standardization that isn't really sustainable in how I see the business world. Anyway, I could keep on going talking about this for hours, but let's get to it. Let's get to the subject matter. All right, so let's talk about this fifth stage of in the journey from hiding to thriving. So remember that I've been using the analogy of a cappuccino. So the first stage is the foam. It's just like the cappuccino foam, very light. That's your stage of hiding, where you are not fully, your business isn't fully sustainable yet. It's not fully, it's not consistent. Your income is a little bit, spotty. Then you enter the stage of performance, where you start embracing other people's strategies and frameworks in an effort to build a profitable and sustainable business. In some cases, this can lead to burnout or disconnect from your business, especially if you end up ignoring your intuition, if you ignore your needs, and you end up adopting strategies and ways of working and ways of doing business that aren't really in alignment with who you are, with what you believe, with what you value. And we talk a lot about this on episode 2. The third stage is the moment that you realize that business and your success does not depend just on what you do, but it also depends on who you be. So the third stage is a stage of self-awareness. And in this stage, much of the work for you and your business is focused on your deconditioning, on reprogramming your subconscious mind, on healing past traumas, reframing past stories. It's about it. There's a lot of healing going on, a lot of noticing, a lot of naming, a lot of self-awareness of where you might of the origin of the self-limiting beliefs, the origin of maybe the disempowering attitudes or habits that you've adopted along the way, and that are keeping you from fully showing up, not showing up in your business in the traditional state, but keep you from fully expressing your greatness and your gifts, which is what I really want you to show. It's not just about showing up online every day. It's about sharing, being able to share your gifts in a powerful way with as many people as possible, because like I mentioned before, you are an amazing person. Your gifts need to be shared. Your wisdom, your experience needs to be heard. Your ways of thinking needs to be shared with the world. And if we are operating from a state of not enoughness, if we're operating from these conditioned beliefs, then what ends up happening is you end up hiding. You end up holding these gifts back, and as a society, we don't benefit. We don't benefit from the gift of who you are and from the gift that you have to share. So in that third stage, we decondition all these limiting beliefs, attitudes, behaviors, habits, so that you can start sharing your gifts in a more powerful way. And that takes us into the fourth phase, which is a recalibration phase, which is a state when you start listening more to your intuition, where you're balancing the analytical side with your rational side, where you are finding a balance and a flow in your business, and where you even start questioning many of the practices in your business, like launching, posting on social media, creating offers, all these shoulds. And slowly you start creating your own way of doing business. And for me, this is the part that I'm very passionate about, because I feel that there isn't just a standard way of doing business. There isn't a standard way of creating a profitable business or of launching even. But rather it's connecting back to our truth, trusting that inner guidance, and finding that balance between the 3D and the 5D, so that again you can find the appropriate channels to share your gifts, to share your message, to share your vision, and to be part of that movement of change, right? And with that, we then arrive into the fifth stage. So the fourth stage is the espresso part of the cappuccino. The self-awareness stage, the third stage, is the milk. So we've gone from foam to milk to the espresso, which is the fourth stage. And for me, the fifth stage, the thriving stage, is the deep end of the cappuccino. And this is the last level of embodiment of your highest self. At this stage, you are just you, and you in capital. You are you. You are who you truly have come to this life, to this, to earth to be. At this stage, you're very much connected to your intuition. You're trusting yourself, you're trusting your gut. You follow your insights, you follow that inner guidance, even if sometimes it doesn't make sense to you rationally, but there's this deep sense of trust that it will, is the next right step, that you don't need to have a path, carved out. There's a lot of trust and surrender in this process. When you're at this stage, you are also accepting and integrating all parts of you. So we're no longer operating from a model where you think that you are flawed, that you're not enough, that you need fixing. We're not operating from a model that you need healing, or that there's something broken, but rather that you embrace all aspects of you. You accept yourself just as you are, with your lights, with your shadows. You embrace and acknowledge the feminine in you, the masculine in you, the rational with the spiritual. So there isn't any duality at this stage. There's just a full embodiment where you see yourself as one, and the balance between the different energies. But at the end of the day, you are just one. So at this stage, when you are thriving, there is this unquestionable knowing that you're fully supported. You're fully supported by God, spirit, the universe, whatever you want to call it, fully supported by that bigger presence, fully supported by your guides. And there isn't any doubt. Isn't any room for doubt. There isn't any room for lack, for worry. There isn't any room for you to feel stressed, for you to feel like overwhelmed, or worried about how you are going to make ends meet, or how you. And so when we're talking about thriving, it's not about, oh, you reached the $1 million mark and now you're thriving, you have the jet setter lifestyle. It's about thriving because you are operating from a state of inner peace and acceptance. And it doesn't matter how much money you have, because money isn't the object, isn't the end result. It's a matter of how you are being, and how that's influencing the decisions that you make in your business, the chances, the risks that you take in your business, the direction that you take with your business, because you're operating from the state of deep acceptance, a state of surrender, and a state of peace, where there's this unquestionable knowing that you are fully supported. And I find this very, very powerful, that no matter what, you can always create what you desire. And no matter what, you are a conscious creator, that you're influencing what you bring into your life. And you use that power to create constantly when you're at this stage. So this is a very, some would say like it's a very woo stage. I sense that this is a very, I say like it's a very spiritual state. It's a state where there's a lot of peace, a lot of acceptance. It's a very, not spiritual stage. It's a very enlightened stage. That's why I call it the deep end. So when you do business at this stage, there is this deep detachment from the mundane, so it's not about how much you earn, how many followers you have. There's this deep detachment from all the business distractions. because you're not worried about the rest. You're worried about there isn't any worry, first of all, but your focus is on just being a vehicle, being a channel for what wants to come through you, whether it's your creation, your ideas, your new offers. It's what comes through you, because you are connected with one, you're connected with your client, you're connected with source. So you are all operating as one, and you just become that channel of, and with this deep trust, knowing that whatever is meant to be expressed is going to be expressed through you, is going to be shared through you, is going to be created through you. So there, in a way, there isn't any room for you to, for self, aggrandizing, or, self, putting yourself on a pedestal and saying, oh my God, look at me, I'm so amazing, you should all be like me. It's quite the contrary. It's being of service. And how I envision this stage is with, you being of service, you doing business from the state of, very humble, very compassionate, with this deep sense of deep state of love, of just wanting to help others, of this genuine intention to help others, where there isn't any room for what's in it for me, or how can I benefit from this, or how can I overcharge you. There's nothing of that. It's the focus is on creating an impact, on expanding an impact, on creating that ripple effect, on improving the lives of others. And there isn't any place for vanity. It's just about expansion. It's creating expansion for humanity as a whole, and it's working from the state of doing things for the highest good of all. So that's why I say it's a very enlightened stage of doing business, right? And when you are in the state, you are living in a state of, deep trust. You're trusting yourself, you're trusting source. You are connecting with others from a place of true love, from like this deep unconditional love, where you really genuinely care about the other person, where you hold their interests in the highest state, where you genuinely want them to improve, where there isn't any dependency. And again, there isn't any attachment to any outcome of whether they hire you or not. There's this just deep sense of care, where your business is operating in a state of flow. So when you are thriving, your business isn't rigid. Your business is adapting yourself to what your life is showing you in that moment. And instead of having you adapt your life to fit your business, which is what could happen in the performance stage, in the thriving stage, it's the other way around. Your business is flexible. Your business is a being of energy that adapts, that shifts, so that it can adapt to what's going on in your life, so that it can adapt, because again, you are one with your business, one with your life. So there isn't this balance between home and your personal and your business life. You are together, you are one being, and it's just flowing. And that's what it means. That's what I mean when we talk about flow. When you are at the state, there's this deep respect for your natural cycles. So your natural cycles of rest, your cycles of action, your physical, your biological cycles. There's this deep respect of honoring those times for rest. There isn't any pressure to force things to happen. There isn't any pressure at all, really, or the sense of urgency. There is just this knowing that when the timing is right, things are going to happen. So at this stage, many things are being accomplished, but there isn't any attachment to a specific timeline, or to a specific goal, or to a specific, deadline. You're just flowing and moving, and you could even move like a tornado in the stage very quickly. But it's coming from this deep sense of peace and acceptance and embodiment. It's a very powerful stage. This is a stage where you speak your truth, where you show up, not afraid of what others are going to think about you, where you speak and you trust that, whatever's coming through is what's meant to be shared with others, where, there isn't any attachment of, oh, I'm the creator of X formula, or, oh, I'm the creator of this, or any attachment to any of that. You are in the state of deep service, for others. And like I mentioned before, this is a state where there's, where you're creating expansion through unconditional love, through compassion, through this very deep acceptance. So this is powerful. And personally, I am not at this stage. I think in my journey, I'm becoming more comfortable in the recalibration stage, but I want to do business from this place. And with this image that I have in mind, this is how I envision this state of thriving. Maybe thriving for you is going to be different, but for me, thriving means being able to be at peace. It means being able to accept. It means being able to surrender. It means being able to trust yourself and to trust that I am fully supported. It means being in a state where there is complete detachment from all, the business material, glittery distractions from the world, because I am connected to my power. I am connected to my highest self. I am connected to my guides. I am connected to source, to God. Then there's this deep sense of connection. And I am working and I'm impacting my business, not just through my actions, not just through my ideas, but I'm impacting my business through my energy, through my field, my energetic field. I'm impacting my business from my mind, from my emotions, through my actions, but I'm impacting my business in different levels, whether I can see them or not. And that's how I influence change. And that's how I also influence what I can bring into my life, what I am attracting into my life, whether that could be material gain, whether that could be the right clients, whether that can be experiences that align with, the type of life that I want to build. But it's operating from this deep state of peace and serenity and compassion and acceptance, and this deep sense of trust that everything is working out. And there isn't any need to control it. There isn't any need to push or force it. It's just, it is, everything just is. So this is a very powerful thing for me. So that is basically the end of this journey from hiding to thriving. Like I said before, this isn't a linear process. You're not going to go from one stage to another and never revisit the previous stages. We're always flowing. We might be in one level in a specific area in our business. We might be in a different level in different area of our business. Different issues or things or events in our life might trigger us or might help us or shift us or force us to move from one state to another. So, but what I want you to see is that there is a journey of self-discovery. And just because you go from 4 back to 1 doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong. For me, it just means that you've reached a new cycle in your personal development, and there's more things to be discovered. There are more things that you need to learn about yourself. And it's just this constant state of self-discovery, of acceptance, of empowerment, of trust, of courage, right? Of knowing that it's safe to step, to show up authentically. It's a new stage that shows you that, yes, this can be possible. Yes, you can do business in a very different way. Yes, you can positively influence others. And eventually you get to the point where you might reach this state of thriving. And as you reach the state of thriving, you will also show others and impact others in a very different way, or show them what else is possible through your own experience. But the end goal isn't to reach the state of thriving, which, it sounds kind of funny because this is the 5th stage. It's not about that. For me, the end goal is about really embodying where you're at in the journey, because at every stage, you are still recalibrating. You are still recalibrating different aspects of you. You're recalibrating your business strategy. You're recalibrating your business model. You're recalibrating your plans, your actions, your habits, You're recalibrating your behaviors, your thoughts, your beliefs, your identity, your energy. There's so much going on at each stage. So it's not the rush to reach the state of thriving. And maybe even as I share this with you, what's coming up is maybe the state of thriving can actually be reached at each level in its own unique way. How? I don't know, but I just feel very called to share this with you. So it's not about reaching thriving. It's not about measuring your success of, oh, when I'm thriving, I'm going to be successful. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to feel complete. You can feel complete in all these stages because it's about being present. It's about showing up, learning how to show up in your business as your most authentic self. It's trusting your intuition. It's about focusing on what's important for you, connecting to the impact that you want to create. It's about learning to trust that guidance and learning to do business in a way that feels true to you. For me, that's what business alignment is. It's a bit learning to do business in a way that feels true to you, and in a way that feels right for you based on where you are in your life. So as we wrap things up, I would love it if you could share with me on Instagram or Facebook, what level are you currently at? What have you learned in this journey as you've, transitioned through these different areas from hiding to thriving? What have you learned about yourself? What have you learned about your business? How is this impacting? How has this journey changed the way that you do business? I would love to hear that, because, the more that we share these stories of recalibration, the more we empower others to start thinking that it is possible to do business in a very different way, to bring, it is possible to do business connected to your intuition, or, finding that intuitive structure where, yes, you do take action, but you also, channel very important things. It is possible. So definitely send me a message. Definitely share with me your experience. And if you feel called to it, if you feel that, if you want to have that extra help around your business, the structures, the 12 areas in your business, if you want to start working with a business model, then definitely hop onto my website. And you will have free access to this workshop that I created, the business audit workshop, that can help you understand where you're at in your business and what's working and not working, and the steps that you might want to take to help you move forward. So you can find everything at angtransformation.com. And obviously the link, the information will be in the show notes. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to hearing from you. And I would love to hear your thoughts on this journey, on the series, and how you can apply this in your business. All right. Thank you so much. Big hugs to you all. Thank you for listening. Thank you for coming with me on this journey. And I will catch you soon. Take care. Bye, everyone.